Hello everyone, welcome to Raw Sound Entertainment's Top 500 Greatest Albums by the Rolling Stones review. I am Sam.
And I'm Marshall.
And today we will be your co-hosts in the review of the White Stripes' White Blood Cells album. This album came out in 2001 and was released by the sort of, I'd say, rock duo that is comprised of Jack White and his sister. Let me get the name right here, because I know Jack White. Jack White is very popular in his solo work, but Meg White. So Jack White and Meg White, who are brother and sister, sort of like a lot of other duos like Matt and Kim, but not quite.
Does Meg play the drums?
I think Meg plays all the instruments, and I think
That's
Jack
crazy.
is just the singer. Yeah,
Wow, Jack, stealing your
yeah,
sister's
really.
doing all the fucking work.
And he went on to have a really successful solo career, which he's still following to this day. But she sort of fell off the mainstream, which I find kind of tragic.
That's unfortunate because
she's a very good
The instrumentals
guitarist.
in these songs are absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah, and
In fact, the singer is not the high. Like, I'll get into that, but like he sings good. Like his style is good for the songs they're trying to create, but it's not like he's the highest quality singer in the world. If you know what I mean.
I 100% disagree.
You disagree?
So we will talk about that.
Okay.
I loved the vocals. I loved that sort of whiny 90s sort of yelling that he was doing, and it was good. I liked it. I really liked it. It almost gave me some vibes of like some Blink-182 stuff, but that's sort of a far reach, sort of. Oh no, Cage the Elephant is the band that I would say that this is very similar to. I got that huge vibe of Cage the Elephant. Do you ever listen to Cage the Elephant?
I don't listen to much of their stuff, but I know who you're talking about.
Like their big song was
Yeah,
that song from Borderlands 1 that was like, I don't remember how it goes, but it was like they sound, like his voice is very similar, and the way that he delivers the lyrics at the same time as the guitar sort of is off, like when he, like it's like he'll strum and then he'll say the lyric, strum and then he'll say the lyric, sort of reminded me of Cage the Elephant in that way. So let's get into the album art, since that's a new segment we do on here ever since the last episode.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that. What do you think?
Well, the album art is, like I said in the last video, all their album art features a sort of theme, and that's red and white, which really works well because they're the White Stripes. And this is white blood cells. When you think of blood, you think of red. So the colors they picked out work very well, and it's also a theme they carry out through all of their albums, interestingly enough, although I think it especially works with this title because you've got the duality of white blood cells, but also blood is red. Anyway, and also in this they show the two bandmates, and then they're sort of surrounded by these silhouettes, and it's kind of hard to tell what the silhouettes are doing. They're standing up against like a brick wall, and they look very nervous, uncomfortable, if you will. And I think these silhouettes maybe are paparazzi, or like maybe are supposed to represent like maybe just people in general. Like maybe they're just loners. They don't like people. I don't know what it's exactly supposed to represent, but like, wouldn't you agree they look very uncomfortable in that situation?
They do look uncomfortable, but what I think, the way I interpret it is the name of the album is White Blood Cells. And what do white blood cells do in our blood? Well, I'm not going to go on a whole biology lesson here, but basically what they do is they eliminate viruses and bacteria in our blood. So in this, I sort of interpreted the silhouettes as attacking them, and they're sort of sort of keeping them away, because as you can see, none of them are actually touching them. Mm-hmm. So they're sort of protecting themselves, or they're sort of like I guess they have sort of like a shield around them or something, I guess would be the symbolic term. They're sort of keeping these bad things away, like the white blood cells actually do in our blood. Mm-hmm. That's sort of the way I interpreted it, if we're looking for a deeper meaning. Yeah, maybe it's just
I like it.
Paparazzi.
No, I like it. No, well, I don't think they're famous enough to be paparazzi, to have paparazzi following them around. So I think that'd be a little cheesy if that's what they were going for. But
and they almost seem like zombies, almost. You look at them,
mm-hmm.
like they're sort of like crawling up, sort of like menacing. Not nice people. You can obviously tell they're not nice people. So that's the way I interpret it.
Yep. And the colors, very vivid. I really like the cover.
I really like it too. I think it's very stylized and very effective.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the actual tracks and the actual album. So the album is 40 minutes long, right? 40 minutes and 16 songs. So you get a lot of really short songs in there, but really every song, there's not a single song on this album that doesn't deliver a little bit of difference, but they're all quite similar in style, would you say?
Oh, yeah. I would say they're all very garage band sort of late 90s, occasionally, and for you punk fans, don't run out here thinking it's punk, but occasionally like a drip of punk, I think.
I would say this is punk.
Yeah. You think it's all punk?
It's very punk. Yes, there's a lot of punk in there. I don't see it
as all punk, but
there's a lot of punk in there for sure. As somebody that loves punk, I love this album. So that might be sort of the guy that says you're wearing an orange shirt, thus you are an orange. But like, I mean, I think it has a lot of punk in there for sure. He has a very punk-like voice, again, like Blink-182, which is more of a pop punk band, but it's very punky in my opinion.
I see what you mean. Yeah. I think it's less punk, but and more garage. But I mean, I do agree that there is definitely a lot of punk, and I agree with you on the voice. He's got a punk voice. He's got a great voice for punk.
The opening track was one of my favorites, Dead Leaves in the Dirty Ground. It opens up, and you can obviously tell that it's a garage band because, like, the way that the sound kind of reverbs, and you can hear the low production quality, or else they're trying to imitate low production quality with, like, the sort of, like, how it's opening up and they're sort of setting up and everything, and they're still trying to get into their place. It's very garage-like.
Plus the classic electric guitar riffs.
Oh.
You know?
Oh, and very powerful guitar. Yeah. So powerful guitar. Like, Meg kills it on the guitar, in my opinion. And that song really sounded like Cage the Elephant, in my opinion. If you have the chance after Marshall and the viewers, make sure to go check it out if you listen to this album, because it's ridiculous how much these songs sound like Cage the Elephant. It was like I was listening to a Cage the Elephant album. So I really liked the first track. I thought it was a great way to open up the album. Now, then after the first track, they go into Hotel Yorba, which is a completely different feel. Almost, I said country-like. It's not really country, but like it's the way that the guitar sort of sounds more
a little bit folk. I wouldn't say country, maybe
folk. Maybe folk, yeah. Maybe a bit more folk. The way that the lyrics are delivered too. So like 1, 2, na 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 na. It's like a lot.
Almost
happier.
Reminds me a little bit of like Beatles. You know?
Yes, very Beatles. Yes.
Yeah, just running. I just imagine people running around doing stuff, like very quickly, no time. That's what I picture. But yeah, it's Hotel Yorba is really cool.
It's an enjoyable song, but it was not one of my favorites on the album.
What were your favorites besides Dead Leaves on the Dirty Ground?
I really Fell in Love with a Girl. It is such an upbeat song. For the minute and 50 seconds that it rolls, I wish it would go on for like 3 or 4 minutes because it's so fun. It's so loud, and you can hear the punk in that song. That song's very punk, but it's more like, you know how all these trendy new, like, I don't know, like Samsung phones or Samsung tablets, all the commercials for them have these really upbeat, really like, not hardcore, but really upbeat rock songs set to them.
Yeah.
Sort of to set like the, oh, look at you, you're cool because you bought one of our phones type thing. This song would be perfect for one of these commercials. Even like a sort of a telecommunication company even that would want to try to sell their phones or their phone plan or something to show people that are active using the phone. I think this song would be perfect for that. And if I was the one casting or directing one of these videos, this is the song I would try to get the rights for because I think it's so perfect for it. If you listen to the song, you'll see what I mean. But it's,
no, I know, yeah, I agree.
I could picture the people running around with the phone and like stuff like that, taking pictures with the phone, doing rebellious things because I see a lot of that. And
the commercial just turns into madness at the end. They're burning cars.
And then it's like, buy the new Samsung Galaxy S7 because it lets you burn cars.
And there's like a building explodes in the background.
I loved it though. I love that song. And then how about you talk about some of your favorite songs?
Yeah, oh god, so many. Like I have to limit it cuz I really have to cut it down cuz almost all the songs in this album I like a lot. But I agree, Dead Leaves on the Dirty Ground, excellent. I really like Hotel Yorba. Fell in Love with a Girl. Okay, let me cut it down more. So, because I just named it 3
you just named it 3.
Yeah. But okay, one of the ones I love as far as the symbolism, Little Room.
Oh, I love Little Room. Yeah.
Because I think what it's trying to say, it's saying how this is what I think it's about. I think it's saying. When it's talking about how you're in a little room trying to create music or anything, art, writing a novel, and you make it big, and so whatever you wrote became popular, and so now you move into a big house, a big studio, you have all this equipment to do whatever you're doing now, you're popular, you got money, resources, but that inspiration, that spark that you had from your struggling artist, from your days as struggling artist are gone. And it's sort of talking about how now you have to go back to the little room to make what you made to get into the big one. And that's, to me, what it was about. Is really cool. I think it's referential of a lot of what artists always say about how, you need struggle and strife and interference to make good art, if you know what I mean. And I think that's what the song is about. I Think I Smell a Rat is so distinctive, comes at you like a big hammer in the face. I think it's, as I said in a video, I think it's a great song to background music for maybe a movie if someone was maybe being cheated on or something like that. I really like that one. This Protector is a excellent way to end the album. It ends with
an awesome
completely
song.
Different style than the rest of the album, and is a good ballad. I'm willing to call it a ballad. It's ballad-esque. Those are my favorite without going too far. But yeah, there's a lot of awesome tracks there.
Now, listening to a lot of these songs, especially I Can Smell a Rat and We're Going to Be Friends, I think this album should be made into a movie soundtrack. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of these songs, I felt like they were telling a story, and they would work well in a sort of story. We're Going to Be Friends could work for like a back-to-school scene in a movie sort of thing, sort of to show exposition for how the kids or some characters' kids are going to school or something. But I Think I Smell a Rat, you said it perfectly, was for the denouncing scene, sort of in a gang or sort of in a mafia setting where they're saying they're trying to show that somebody is cheating on them. And then even the part where it's like walking down the street with a baseball bat or whatever it was. Yeah, that then they could show the guy walking down the street, and it just worked perfectly. I think it would work perfectly in a movie, and I would love to shoot a movie for that. I think that would be a lot of fun in this album for sure.
Yeah.
So that's the vibe I kind of got, and you're right in saying that this album's really good, and I would almost say that there was no track in here that I didn't like, but that would be a lie, because there was one track I really didn't like while listening to, and that was Aluminum.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Aluminum was my least favorite, although I didn't it's not like I hated it. To say that it dragged down the album I don't want to say it dragged down the album, because it fit in with the rest of the tracks. And that's what an album is.
It did,
yes.
Yes.
It's a collection of songs that work well together, and I think it worked well with the other ones. So even though I didn't like it, I can't say that it held the album back, because I think that would be selling it short. It had a good style to it. It continued that sort of punk-esque garage band style sound. So I'm not gonna knock it past the fact that it didn't agree with me personally.
Yeah, I think the album is near perfect. For sure near perfect, because it's got it all. It's got upbeat songs, ballads, it's got very loud songs, very quiet songs, it's got songs that are a bit funnier, I guess, like I Think I Can Smell a Rat, and more serious songs like I guess This Protector was very serious and very emotional. So overall, I'd say near perfect.
Yeah. Now here we get to the part of the video where we usually score it, but we have a quick note before we score this album, and that is we realized that we have maybe been a little generous with previous scores. Not to say that the albums we listened to before did not necessarily deserve the scores we have, but there is a problem, and that is there's going to be a lot of really good albums on this list, to be sure. And so to sort of balance out that, we're giving an official minus 1 point debuff to all of our previous scores to help balance out future scores, so that higher scores mean more, and so that we don't have 100 10 out of 10s later on, if you know what I mean.
So that being said, I'm going to go over my scores in the past videos and what they're going to be changed to. So then I'll let Marshall go on through his score. So Aquem and I will be going down from a 7 out of 10 to a 6 out of 10. BB King will be going down from a 6 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10. And finally, the Stone Roses will be going down from a 9 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10. And for you, Marshall?
Quem and I will be going down from a 7 to a 6. BB King will be going down from a 7 to a 6. Yes. And the Stone Roses will be going down from an 8 to a 7. So that being said, this is our first 10 episodes, so there's sort of our beta series, you could say. This is sort of where we're still in beta process of seeing what we need to adjust, and obviously our scoring system was a little bit generous in the past, because after listening to this album, I think we can both agree that this is
a higher, not a higher quality, but a higher enjoyment rate of everything we've listened to in the past for sure,
It
including
sets a
the
new
Stone
bar.
Roses. Yes, and I didn't want to give this album a perfect score, so that's why we had to adjust everything else to be able to give this, in my opinion, a 9 out of 10. And for you, Marshall?
I agree. Well, I mean, this says it all. I think you've listened to this album a lot in the past few days. I've
Yes.
listened to this album, so I've been playing a lot of Killing Floor 2, and I've listened to this as a background track, as a background album for that game at least 15 times in the last few days. Like,
It's so fun.
it's so good.
such a fun
Also,
album.
just for a fun fact, goes really well along with Killing Zeds. So if you guys want to play it along with your video games, it works well there. And so I got to give it a 9 out of 10 too.
It was just a great album, and I am so happy that I discovered this gem, because I would have never found it if it wasn't for this list, I don't think.
Hence
And-
the point of this series.
So, I guess for me, go listen to this album. To everybody that's watching, and I'm sure Marshall agrees, go listen to it. Even if you don't like it, it's just a fun album. I'm sure you can agree on that one at least. Okay, so the next album that we have to review is Boz Scaggs' self-titled album.
Scaggs.
Boz Scaggs, yeah. So, have you listened to this at all, Marshall? Or
Yeah, I listened to the whole thing. It was the last one I scored. So after Boz Scaggs, I'll be listening to them fresh with you, the fresh year.
That's great.
Should be exciting.
So, what did you think of Boz Scaggs as like a short 1 minute sort of, not what you thought, but how was it? Like, it's something that, give us objective statements.
Okay, objective as possible.
Yes.
Jazzy blues.
Jazzy blues.
It's a longish album, but like, okay, I'd say there's some really long tracks on this album, like record-breaking long. Not record-breaking, but there are some very long tracks on this album. But overall, the album itself is not super long. I think it's probably around like 30 or 40 minutes. So sort of like the White Blood Cells has a lot of tracks, but they're all short. This one's gonna have not as many tracks, but a few of them are gonna be really long. And so we're gonna see how we like it. Boz Scaggs, his jazz. Will it be as good? Will it be as good at that sort of jazzy blues feel as B.B. King? I'm not sure if it'll be as good as the legend of blues, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I am not really excited for this one. I'm going to tell you. The album cover.
We said objective.
Oh, right, okay.
I try to be so objective.
I'm sorry. Excited. I'm excited to continue this series. There, okay? Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope to see you in the next episode. And if you haven't watched our past episodes, please go watch them. I forget to say this every time, but it's more fun if you listen along with us, I think, for us and for you guys, because then you can really share your opinions in the comments and on Twitter at #500greatest. Make sure to do that, and we will be happy to interact with you in the comments. So thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.